Hello. I would like to start off first of all by welcoming you to my channel and thanking you for watching. This is my very first attempt at a YouTube video. I decided to talk about a topic that I was very passionate about, so I decided to talk about The Last of Us. Because while I was playing this game recently, I had a realization. I realized when I was talking to one of my friends about the game that they didn't really have the sense of, love for this game that I had. And so I asked them once, like, okay, well, how did you play it? And the answer I got was very telling of why their experience turned out the way that it did. And I would like to kind of flesh into that topic here in this video. The gameplay you see is just me doing, Bill's Town part of the mission. I have one of those little filters applied on the game. I believe it's the vintage one, because I really like how it makes the game look. But as far as The Last of Us, right? It came out in 2013 originally. Comes out to, me, I'm 14 at the time, just kind of giving you an idea of how old I was when I first experienced this game. I was not ready for the level of, masterful storytelling, the gripping narrative, and the relatable, albeit very flawed characters that we come to know throughout this experience. I really feel like the game was ahead of its time, and, even playing it back now, I adore everything about this game. I'm gonna start by assuming that if you played this game similar to how my friends have played this game, I'm gonna just go ahead and say that you played The Last of Us incorrectly. It is my belief that you have experienced this game incorrectly. And I am here to make a case about why I believe you should replay The Last of Us and perhaps give it another chance if you haven't played it in a while. Or maybe never have, if you've only seen gameplay. Regarding the game design in and of itself, some of this gameplay, by today's standards, some people might say it's outdated. They might think it's overly linear, but I argue that the game's linearity is actually a strength as opposed to a weakness. It allows the story to be concise, focused. It allows the developers to focus their efforts on one single narrative instead of thinking about what the player might do at any given moment and how it would affect the butterfly effect of everything. I'm gonna be honest, one of my other favorite games apart from The Last of Us is Red Dead Redemption, specifically Red Dead Redemption 2. I think what that game did for storytelling when it came out was very similar to what The Last of Us did when it came out for video game storytelling. It really pushed the boundaries of what this medium could portray just over the course of dialogue, gameplay, and choice cutscenes. I marvel at how I'm able to revisit these games later on, and due to their linearity, I'm able to revisit them a different person, but these same situations, and come out with different lessons. As far as the gameplay, right, I really like how tight the gameplay feels. It's very weighty, though. It's like you're controlling a bag of flesh and bones and not like a super soldier, right? We don't have the snappiness of like a Call of Duty or a Metal Gear Solid here. We have a very sluggish old man. It makes me think of Uncharted, right? But Drake just has really bad arthritis in his knees or something. But as far as game design, this was just a simple recap, right? Because that wasn't really the focus of the story here, of my video. I want to go into a bit of a persuasive part now. Just hand her the rope. About what I said before, when I said that you probably played The Last of Us incorrectly, I'm going to say, possibly, hypothetically, you likely played The Last of Us like if it was Call of Duty or Uncharted 5 or something, where you were a protagonist, right, who will not die and just charges in guns blazing because, you know, we have so many med kits and, you know, I took all these upgrades, so now I have this enormous health pool. I argue that you shouldn't play it this way. Not The Last of Us. I argue that The Last of Us is much better if we play it as if it was Metal Gear Solid. I would like to preface this by saying that I have only played Metal Gear Solid 4 and a portion of Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm by no means an expert on these games, but I'm a big fan and I have great memories of playing Metal Gear Online back in 2011. So this game, you know, I enjoy it a lot as well. But anyway, the goal of Metal Gear Solid, the story mode, right, is never to kill as much as possible. In fact, the developers put in Easter eggs that actively punish or shame you for killing. It's a great touch to emphasize a long-running theme that's present throughout many of these games, right? Do not kill needlessly. If you apply this philosophy onto Joel, we see a completely different character. One who approaches each conflict methodically. He has an entry and an escape plan to lose his pursuers. And he aims very carefully as to not waste more ammo than you have to once it comes down to a firefight. This philosophy is further emphasized, and to some extent it's required when you play the game on Survivor and Grounded difficulty. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be focusing on the Grounded difficulty, as it does not give a choice to the following conditions, whereas in any other difficulty, you can tweak these settings yourself, but you have to do it via the pause menu. The conditions are as follows, right? There's no HUD, no HUD. There's no ammo counter, no health bar, severely less health, very scarce resources, as well as vigilant, aggressive, and adaptive enemy AI to top it off. That is a lot to throw at you, you know, as a player. The gameplay experience dramatically shifts when you play on Survivor and Grounded difficulties. When you're on these difficulties, you're no longer the main character, you're just a character. And this means the same 2 or 3 bullets that take down zombie number 87 or Brian from that one group of raiders can just as easily kill you. Enemies react faster, they see farther, their bullets make you flinch, and at times you can think you made it out just to get shot through the forehead just as you were rounding one last wall to safety. These moments are dramatic, they're visceral, and they're desperate. Everything they want you to feel when you play as Joel. Joel was never a superhero. He was just a survivor trying to do what he has to. No HUD and no ammo counter means you have to count your bullets. And if you don't, and you shoot an empty gun, that pause in action and the shuffle to get another weapon out can be the difference between getting out alive and...
You're gonna pay for that!
Things inside the house.
Oh, shit. They ain't seen us yet. You stay down.
Careful.
Even worse, when you fight people and that gun clicks, they'll hear it. And they'll rush you with melee weapons, pistols, and shotguns if they have them. It's a direct byproduct of the increased difficulty. These enemies are no longer traffic cones telling you you're going the right way. They're severe roadblocks that need to be driven around, avoided at times. And at other times just ran right through. Don't run through roadblocks in real life. That was just a metaphor. But my point is, every encounter now, right, becomes a convoluted puzzle and a high-stakes arena at the same time. We as the player are now weighing the options between sneaking up and choking someone to save ammo, taking them as hostage for a quick advantage, or shooting them silently with a bow from a distance. Each option now has weight to it. And that's because the scarce resources and the very limited ammo turns every single fight into this delicate balancing act between potential losses and potential rewards. You now have to consider the possibility that the loot behind some of those raiders may not be worth the Molotov you have in your hand right now. especially when you see a back alley that lets you sneak right past them. You surprisingly have a lot of flexibility in the encounters in this game, and a pacifist route that ensures no wasted ammo and no wasted health may not only be a very viable option most of the time, but during some very select instances, it's the optimal one. This game is a gem when you dive in headfirst, just with no life jacket, no goggles, and one hand tied behind your back. I ask you if you have a curiosity for it, and if you can get the game. Get it on PC, PS5, hell, even on PS4. Every rendition of this game is special. Play it on grounded, or, at the very least, if you're on PC and PS5, go into settings and go into HUD and turn off the health bar and ammo counter while playing it on Survivor or hard, or hell, even on medium. See if your experience doesn't change. And if it doesn't, you can write me a strongly worded letter in the comments. But maybe it does work for you. And like me, you can be on another subsequent playthrough, right? For me, I'm currently on number 16. And you'll still feel a very strong connection to these characters because of the stellar writing that never really goes away, not for me at least. But now you also have a renewed sense of anxiety at the sounds of a clicker in the building that maybe you haven't felt since your first playthrough. Or maybe you get the Dark Souls-like exhilaration of clearing an engagement that took you far too many attempts, but now it doesn't matter because you and you alone did it. But most importantly, maybe you, like me, can come to appreciate a job well done by the developers for making us play like Solid Snake and Metal Gear Solid 4, but without any of the advanced gear and just the being old part, but never forcing this playstyle if the player didn't want it. That, simultaneously, in my opinion, was their biggest move towards accessibility for everyone, but also it unintentionally gave players the choice to rob themselves of the best way to experience this game. Not as its protagonist, but just as another one of its survivors. Just scraping by for one more day.
We have to get inside to get the battery! Come on, Bill! Window's open! Hurry!
Thanks for watching, and take care of yourself.